I'm Dave Palumbo, founder of Species Nutrition. I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work and are backed by science. From my earliest bodybuilding days, I believed in only putting the best in my body, and that lives on in the Species Nutrition line of products. We use only top-of-the-line formulations dosed for maximum results and the best flavoring systems available. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. Dave Palumbo here with another RX Muscle Supplement and Science Review. And I get a lot of people asking me on a regular basis, about their blood sugar and about insulin usage. And, my first response to them is, hey guys, do you check your blood sugars? What are your fasting morning blood sugars when you wake up before you eat anything? What are your 2-hour post-meal blood sugars? Because those are important numbers to know. Your fasting morning sugar should be under 90, and your 2-hour post-meal, so after you eat a meal, when you wait 2 hours, you should test your blood sugar, and those blood sugars should be under 130. If those numbers are under 130 and under 90, your blood sugar control can be considered, good, okay? But the only way you know that is if you test your blood sugars, and you can't go to the doctor and test your blood sugars, all day long. So what's become very easy and something that I've been telling people to do for quite a while now is go out and buy a blood sugar monitor or glucometer that you can get anywhere. This is the cheapest one you can buy. It's called Rely On. It's made by Walmart. Walmart's great. I'll tell you something about Walmart. I want to give them their props. Walmart has said, you know what? People these drug companies are charging too much money for insulin. They're making it too expensive. People don't test their blood sugars. They don't take insulin when they need it and treat their diabetes because of the fact that it's too expensive and they don't have insurance. So Walmart came out with this blood sugar monitor is $9. I'm going to show it to you. Here it is. This unit is $9, and it comes with this little spring-loaded thing. And all you got to do is buy some replacement if you want these little. I'll show you what comes in here. It's a needle basically. I don't know if you can really see that, but there's a little, very fine needle. These little things come off and they can be replaced. You can buy a whole bag of them. To be honest with you, I've been using the same one probably for 2 weeks or 3 weeks now. They don't really go dull. And this little protection thing goes on top of it. And then when you pull this out, you basically it's like a spring-loaded thing. And so you set this and then you kind of hit the button and the thing hit your finger. I'm going to show you how to do it in a second. This comes with the whole kit. So for $9 you get this and this. The only thing you have to buy is the test strips. Okay. Now if this is $9, the test strips are also $9. You can buy double the amount. I think it's 50 strips for $9 or something like that. If you want to get 100 strips, it's like $18. This is the only thing you need to replace. It's still super cheap, okay? Because once you get your blood sugars in order, you're not going to be testing it that much. I test my blood sugar usually first thing in the morning fasting just to see what it is. And then I test my blood sugar usually after dinner, which is my biggest meal, 2 hours after, to see what my blood sugars are. And I'm happy to report that my hemoglobin A1C, which is your average blood sugar over the course of 3 months, which kind of gives you an estimate of how your blood sugars are doing on a regular basis, came back at 5.2, which is good, which is in the lower good zone. I was a little higher. I don't know why. Maybe since I haven't been going out to eat as much because of this COVID thing, my blood sugars are better now because I eat at home and I make all my own food. As you know, when you eat out, you tend to eat the junkier foods. Okay, too much Carrabba's. So you got your blood sugar monitor, okay? I think when it comes, you pull the little strip out so the battery starts working, and you got a little readout in here. And the great thing about this little unit is that it will record all your blood sugars. So every time you take your blood sugar, you can figure out an average of all your sugars you've ever taken. It gives you a lot of good data. But the thing that I worry about is I don't really look back at the old data because I kind of have it in my head. I look at the new data. So you come out, you take a test strip. It's pretty simple. There's two sides to this test strip. The short little side and then the long side, this little long side here, which has the two little lines, goes into the monitor. There's a little slot here. You stick this right in here. Boom. And then you get like a little blinking screen here. Now you have to get your blood. You have to get the blood. You got to get blood because the blood, this is a little capillary type of thing. And you kind of got to touch the blood to it and it's going to go right into this little tube here via capillary action. All right, so you load this thing up. Okay, now it's spring loaded. This is the worst part. I hate this. I could take a needle in my arm. I hate because it kind of zaps you a little bit. It doesn't really hurt, but it's annoying. So you put this right against your finger. You push the button, and it hit my hand, and then I squeeze my finger, and there's the droplet of blood right there. And I'm going to put it right at the end of the test strip. It's going to get sucked right up into that test strip via capillary action. I think I learned that in chemistry, second semester. And it's going to give a readout, 72. I don't believe my blood sugar is that low. So usually it would be a little higher. So what I usually do, if I don't like the reading, if it comes out too high or too low, I'll test it again. Okay? Let's test it again. This way you get a second reading. Get a test strip. Sometimes these test strips, for $9, sometimes you get a defective one. Let's put it in. Let's see if I can still get some blood out of I can get some blood out of that same little prick I just did there. I don't have to stick myself again. Okay, and then it takes a couple seconds and then it'll register on here. Let's see what it registers. I just ate, so I'm assuming it's gonna be high. 72, so okay, I have lower blood sugar. Usually when I'm running my mouth all day and I'm moving around and jazzing it around, my blood sugar can be low. This is low for me, but when you get two readings in a row around the same, that's usually a pretty good sign that it's a pretty good estimate. Now, these meters are not perfect, okay? They can vary within 5 to 7 points, I think, So if you're a little high in the morning, you're like 91, 92, I wouldn't really get too crazy. Or if you're maybe a little high 2 hours after a meal, 135 or something like that, I wouldn't get crazy. But if you're 150 2 hours after a meal, that's too high. If you're 100 or 102 in the morning as fasting, that's too high. And you can test, and look, if you have one anomaly, sometimes guys have a crazy cheat meal the night before, and then they test their blood sugars in the morning, they're a little high. But if every other day of the week, that they're good, then there's nothing to worry about. Now, I'm neurotic with these numbers, which is not good sometimes because you can drive yourself crazy. But the thing is, that's why I go for the hemoglobin A1C, because if the hemoglobin A1C comes back as good, that means that on a regular basis over the course of 3 months, my blood sugars are pretty much in range. Because one anomalous number, one high number is not going to screw your body up. You're not going to have kidney failure or loss of eyesight because you get one or two high numbers during the week. It's the average. That's why you're testing it throughout the day to get your basic numbers that are coming out on a routine basis. Now, if you're taking growth hormone, which I'm not, you might start seeing these numbers go up. The fastings may go up in the morning. Your 2-hour post meals may go up because what's happening is you're becoming insulin resistant. And when you become insulin resistant, okay, it means that your body can't produce enough insulin for you to absorb the sugars out of your blood. When the sugars in your blood run high, they can start accumulating in your tissues, the extremities, the eyes, okay, the kidney tubules, and they can damage this on a long-term basis. So we don't want to run high blood sugars. That's why we're testing. We don't want to be ignorant to what's going on. We want to control. Also, if you're not absorbing all your sugars out of your blood, you could be gypping yourself of gaining muscle, okay? Because you're not absorbing all the nutrients from all this food you're eating. So this is a very valuable tool, this glucometer or blood sugar monitor. And once again, it's so cheap. If you don't go get one, you're an idiot, essentially. This is giving you valuable data. You can't go to the doctor once every 6 months and have him check your fasting blood glucose once every 6 months and get a true value of what's going on in your body. Granted, the hemoglobin A1Cs will give you a nice, I guess, snapshot of what you've gone through over the last 3 months, but I want to know what my blood sugars are doing all day long, okay? I don't want to just know that they're good at night. I want to know that they're good in the morning when I wake up, fasting, and all that stuff, because this will also help you dictate whether you need to take any insulin or not as a bodybuilder. Because this is the new thing I'm getting, because I did a video on insulin the other day. Everyone's asking me, how do I take insulin? Well, I don't know. I don't know number one, I don't know what your blood sugars are. Number two, I don't know how much food you're eating during the day. I don't know if you're dieting or not dieting. I need data to tell you this. Plus, I'm not going to sit down and spend 2 hours figuring out how much insulin and what kind of insulin you should take, okay, if you're not my client, because that's a lot of work. That's a homework assignment. So taking insulin is not like saying, hey, Dave, how do I take clenbuterol? All right, well, take 20 micrograms twice a day, and you can increase it every 2 to 3 weeks. That's easy. But insulin is very specific to the person who needs to take it, because it's dependent upon what your blood sugar numbers are, how much food you're consuming, and what drugs you're taking with it. So these are all factors to be determined and factored into what you're going to do in terms of supplements you're going to take and drugs you're going to take. But once again, it all comes down to this glucometer. Super, super intense data, very valuable, very cheap. Go out and buy and you don't have to buy a $9 meter at Walmart. You can spend more money. You can go to CVS and spend more money. You can go on Amazon.com and spend more money if you want to. But I'm just telling you, if money is an issue and you don't want it, and that's the reason you haven't gone out and got one, there's no excuse for $9 and $9 for the test strips. For under 20 bucks, you're set to go for a good month on testing your blood sugar. No excuses, guys. Don't be ignorant. Don't keep your head in the sand. Know your numbers. Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle Supplement and Science Review.